Yeah, looking good, you guys. Looking good. Okay, go ahead and do your bit.
I'm gonna eat this. Oh wow. Dude.
You look very relaxed.
Have a cucumber.
I'm not eating that. No.
Oh my
no.
You guys are lucky. It's gonna condition you.
This is gonna take years off of your face.
I've got acidophilus in my nose, so can someone please remove these things?
I shall remove them.
I'm not eating them though, so.
That was really not what I expected. I don't even know what you're doing. Don't say anything.
No, I'm not. There's just one line that I wrote down that I have to read verbatim because it's so hilarious.
Okay. A line from the movie?
No, it's one that I wrote.
Just you made up. Okay.
He's so pleased with himself.
Cheers.
Cheers. Hey, everybody.
Oh my That movie was crazy.
Welcome back to Bust a Movie.
Welcome back to Bust a Movie, everyone, where we review movies that people choose for us.
And Jason's exasperated screech there just a second ago is probably a good indicator of what we thought of the movie.
That is literally what I did when I finished the movie. So we watched Face Off, as was suggested by our fabulous subscriber.
Thanks, Jen.
And yeah, so when I finished the movie, I literally screamed exactly that. That's exactly what I did, and then I laughed probably continuously for about 5 minutes. Because it was just so hilariously bad.
Yeah. So it starts off with Nicolas Cage's character, Castor Troy, which is...
Who names their kid Castor?
After Castor Oil, like why? That's what women used to take to induce labor in like the 50s.
Well, I'm sure Nicolas Cage does that to a lot of women.
Maybe his parents
hated him.
Birth to him.
You guys,
because
I
of castor
took
oil.
castor oil
Yeah, how was that?
to induce labor. It did not work.
Record scratch.
It was ineffective.
Did not work.
Just like Nicolas Cage.
Ineffective.
Lots of overacting. Although, I feel like Nicolas Cage's character and John Travolta's character were the only characters that actually worked in this movie to some degree.
John Travolta's acting was just terrible. Like right off the bat, man. So bad.
So I like John Travolta. I mean, he is in one of the worst movies ever made. And then I guess there's this one too. Now that we've already jumped into our review, should we give you a rundown of the movie?
Oh, by the way, there will be spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Don't watch this movie if you plan on watching Face Off, although I don't know, I mean...
Do you wanna give the rundown?
No.
Okay, I'll do it. So the movie starts off with Nicolas Cage's character.
With a killer mustache, might I add.
It's a damn good mustache. Nick Cage rocks the mustache, I must admit. Anyway, so he's got a sniper rifle, and he's got John Travolta's character in the sights. John Travolta's character is riding around on a merry-go-round with his son. He shoots Archer in the back. I guess the bullet goes through his back and into his son. The son dies, which was sad. That was the only dramatic moment.
But it was so contrived. It's ridiculous.
I mean, you could see it a million miles away,
Yeah.
which again goes back to my point that it just seemed like somebody who had never made a film or had trained to make films, and this was their first film they made.
Well, they never explained it.
And we have no clue why.
Why was he shooting him in the first place?
Why did he want to shoot John Archer? Like, it never explains that.
So then they're like rivals after that, apparently.
Yeah.
For some reason, he is now the expert on Castor Troy, the guy who tried to kill him and killed his son on accident. And for some reason, knows everything about him and has been chasing him for years. And then he decides to play chicken with him with an airplane.
Castor Troy's plan was to plant a bomb in LA and just cause chaos.
Which never happens.
We never understand why that is the case, other than he's just a crazy ass guy that wants to blow stuff up.
He is a crazy ass guy.
He's hopping on a plane to fly away to safety, away from the bomb. Castor just has this weird fetish where he likes people to suck on his tongue. It was the most revolting thing I think I've ever seen in a movie.
More revolting than the face getting pulled off.
Yeah, it didn't really add anything to the movie, and it was just weird.
Gave me nightmares.
Jason's gonna cry himself to sleep tonight because of that scene. And they all race to the airport to catch him before he flies off. And in the process, the plane's taking off, and John Travolta's character, Archer,
He's like in a Hummer or something.
is in a
right?
Hummer, and they drive towards the airplane. They play chicken. Obviously,
Oh, and
the
also,
Hummer's gonna lose.
well, yeah, and then he gets out of the Hummer and into a helicopter that takes off and catches up with the airplane in like 10 seconds. And then he leans out the window with a gun and starts shooting the airplane. It's just so ridiculous, over the top.
Yeah,
It's almost like the plane had to slow down to wait for him to catch up.
I'm sure
so
it
he
did.
could get so they could get shot at.
The action sequences in this movie felt like every action sequence that had ever been shot in the history of film, just regurgitated in this movie with no thought about how to do it.
There was no realism whatsoever.
so
it was just
You
let's
have a bunch
throw
of
as
people
much-
like jumping sideways and shooting guns
constantly.
and, like over and over.
I mean, how many bullets do you think they fired in this movie?
3.7 million.
Oh yeah, like thousands. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy.
it really
I don't know
was.
how many, but it was a lot. One of those would have got him.
You'd think so.
You would think.
Yeah, and then it only took like one shot to make the plane's engines explode. Which, whatever. Jess?
I don't think you guys gave like a high level summary. I
That's-
don't know what this movie is about.
That's what we're doing.
It's taking a while. All right.
This is the high level summary?
She's
Welcome
right.
to Bust a Movie.
Okay, let's do a quick summary.
Okay, yeah.
At the end of the airport scene, Archer captures Castor. Castor's in a coma, and
He's essentially a vegetable.
they still can't find the bomb. So they get this idea where they can, infiltrate the prison that Castor's brother Pollux is, to find out where the bomb is going to go off and how to dismantle it.
And Pollux was not going to tell just anyone.
No.
And they had Castor in a coma.
yeah,
And they also had this amazing technology where they could take your face,
and put it
off.
on someone else. They literally take their faces off and change them.
which was kind of gross, but kind of fun to watch at the same time.
Yeah, but the
was comical.
The science behind it was just asinine. Like
Yes.
their
It
only
was.
explanation was, "We've got fancy lasers." That's it.
A sophisticated heat beam, which we called a laser.
Also, what about their teeth? What about their ears?
Oh my gosh,
What about
that
their
was-
penises? Would his wife not have noticed that his was different?
Yeah, because they had a
Also, he didn't have a scar anymore.
It was really crazy, man. Like his face would have looked totally different because of his teeth, his bone structure,
His ears.
his ears.
Like Nicolas Cage has like some weird smashed ears.
He does.
They're very particular ears.
The whole concept is just so stupid and made no sense.
But it was a pleasure. I gotta say, it was fun.
It wasn't for me. I hated it.
Well, agree to disagree, because I like to watch bad movies
It
sometimes.
was just so bad.
Maybe.
So anyway, they switch faces. They go to the prison. Archer gets the information he needs, and then right when he gets it, guess who wakes up from their coma?
Castor
Castor.
Troy.
And when he wakes up, he conveniently sees Archer's face floating in a substance, so he can
And
see
looks
it.
completely plastic.
So he can see it perfectly. And for some reason or other, they know exactly where the surgeon lives, who did the procedure in the first place. They kidnap him, bring him to the facility, put Archer's face on Castor.
Their identities are officially
They
swapped.
swap the identities, and that's basically the premise for the movie.
And then Archer has to try and get his way back,
Yeah,
even though
out of the prison to LA.
because nobody knows that he was doing this really.
Yeah.
So Archer has to escape from a high-level prison with magnet boots
Well,
and swim back to shore from an oil rig.
yep. And a helicopter
Good
tries
call.
to shoot at him, right?
Yeah, but then it just cuts and then he just magically appears in Los Angeles. Like he swam several miles back
Oh.
to shore apparently. Well, while Castor is
Trying to get
pretending to be Archer,
Oh, yeah.
he basically tries to go back and live Archer's life. He sleeps with his wife, and his wife somehow doesn't notice that
He has a
something
different
is something is up. They've been together as husband and wife for a week.
You know, we've been living together as man and wife for a week.
You know what I got from this? Castor Troy is better at sex than John Archer, is really what it comes down to. Because Castor Troy was able to please Archer's wife.
That's why she was.
That's why she went along with it.
I hope that's not the case, but it could be. So the chief dies. There's a funeral. Archer, who has Castor's face on, finds his way to the funeral where everybody else is. And we have the ending action sequence. And
Which basically goes on forever.
It really does.
I mean, they just, Castor and Archer are miraculously not shot by a single bullet until one of them is, but then kind of miraculously recovers in like 10 minutes. There was one point in the movie where I literally saw the harness and the rig that was holding a guy up as he was like coming down on another guy, and I rewound it and I looked back. I was like, "Yep, there it is." They did not successfully remove that harness.
Oh man!
Like there were so many things in this movie that were wrong that it was just comical.
Yep.
How does a movie this expensive get made and be this bad?
Yeah,
it's impressive. Really, it's like it's a feat.
Almost like he was trying to do it that way. I don't
yeah. I don't think they were, but it almost feels like someone in Hollywood is like, you know what? We should destroy Nicolas Cage's career.
I think they did. So the movie ends. Everyone lives happily ever after, except for Castor. He dies, I think. Gets shot with a harpoon in the chest, which that would really kill anyone, I think. Oh, God. So,
also, Castor Troy has a son who was about the same age
I was just going to say
as Archer's son when he died.
We should.
And so they just kind of, stick that in there at the end. Like,
so
how about you just have his son, your arch nemesis' son?
That's what
just
happens.
Adopt him and don't tell your wife or your daughter you're going to do it. Just bring him home. And they'll just accept him with open arms, no questions asked.
That is literally what happens.
So ridiculous.
It was mind boggling. My mind blogged something because of this. I don't know what it blogged.
Something when you're
blogged something.
When your mind is that boggled that it goes into blogs.
It goes into blog mode
all by itself.
I don't know what happened. It was crazy. This next segment will be rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
We're just gonna shoot off a bunch of questions or comments without any explanation, and we're just gonna move on.
I don't think the filmmaker understands the basic laws of physics.
Who tries to rape their date in the driveway of their house?
Who tries to rape their daughter? That was insane. I don't give two shits about Victor Lazaro. And why the hell are there doves flying around everywhere? And why am I listening to Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Why would you put that in there during that action sequence? That was just crazy. And why would a U.S. federal agent shoot at a child? Don't shoot! I'll see you in hell, 5-year-old.
Pew, pew, pew. Also, who arranges a plethora of mirrors in their living room in a circle?
I don't know, man. What did Castor / Archer overload at the prison to make everything just start popping and exploding? What did he overload? That made no sense.
It was probably magnetic boot overload. Who ties another person's shoe?
Shoelace.
Except for Ginny Weasley.
I'll tell you who.
Castor Troy.
How did Archer, when he was Castor, throw sulfuric acid so far by just a flick of his wrist? And he picks up this big thing of sulfuric acid so that he could shoot it when it's flying right next to the guards. And he's just like, which is 40 feet away. And he just
in one shot. Also, why is there sulfuric acid within reach at a prison?
Yeah, that made no sense.
Also, why didn't he just shoot the guy? He had to throw the acid and then shoot it with a gun and then have the acid burn the guy. He could have just shot the guy in the head. If he's that good of a shot.
Why would a boat or multiple boats explode like they were made out of dynamite? That made no sense.
After having run into each other several times without a scratch.
And they didn't explode.
No!
But, they go over a ramp and they just magically blow up because of the ramp.
And it just propels them forward like hundreds of feet, and then they just magically land and they're fine.
Yeah. Every time somebody jumped out of a moving car or a building sideways while shooting a gun, all I could think of was the famous TikTok song, Pew pew pew.
Hold up, wait a minute. It's a 22. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew pew pew.
Hold up. Wait a minute. It's a 22.
Pew pew pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
So overall,
So do you think we bust this movie?
this movie's busted.
It's definitely busted, but
stupid.
I will say, if you like watching bad movies, go watch it, because it's hilarious. It's super fun. I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed watching this. Unlike some of the other movies we've watched in the past, I had a good time. It's stupid, it's terrible.
I hated it.
But this is one of those that I think it's so bad that it was good. Just me.
And I respectfully disagree with Jason. I would not watch this movie again, even if you paid me to watch it. Anyway, so it's busted. Watch it, don't watch it. It's up to you, really.
We're not the boss of you.
No, I wouldn't watch it if I were you. Jason, on the other hand,
I would. I wouldn't watch it again for probably another 5 or 10 years. But if I met somebody who had never seen it and just was in the mood for to watch a bad movie, I would totally watch it again with them.
or you should just
Seriously.
be like, hey, do you want to watch the best action movie ever filmed? It stars John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. You can't go wrong with those two actors. And then
You
watch
can,
it,
though.
and they'll just be like, what the is he talking about? And then they'll just like never want to see you again. So
Yeah. This is a great way to lose friends. If
Yeah.
you have an annoying friend that always wants to hang out, just invite them over to watch Face Off.
How to-
They'll never come over again.
how to lose friends and not influence people.
That's true.
Watch this movie.
All right.
All right, y'all, thanks for joining us. Make sure you subscribe
Hit the like button if you like this episode.
and then check out our Patreon as well.
Yeah.
Anyways, so long, y'all. Have a good night. We will see you later.
Catch you on the flip side. That was lame. I'll never say that again.
Please don't. Can't believe you said that, Jason.
Paul.
Okay, so that's Jason.
We did it.
We did it.
I feel closer to you
Yeah.
now. You know, I was gonna make fun of it, but now I get it.
Yeah, we just bonded. That is a bona fide way of showing affection to another human being.
Touch their face.
Awkwardly. As awkwardly as you possibly can.